coming to you live. Hope you guys are well. Thank you for being here with me. Appreciate you very much. Life is good. I'm Will Kimbrough. I'm in Nashville. And I'm going to play some music for you tonight. And hoping y'all are good. Because I am. I am gonna play for you. I have a request for this one. And this is the song. It's the title track to my 2019 record. I Like It Down Here. Yeah, it's got kind of a Blue Note vibe. And let me check my sound here, make sure it's okay. So it's the 13th of February. And that means tomorrow's Valentine's Day. It's also going to be Mardi Gras on Tuesday. That will be Fat Tuesday. And excuse me. Excuse me. This is called I Like It Down Here. Got beads on. It might make a little noise on my guitar. I'm playing nylon string guitar tonight because I just got a nicer one than I've ever had. It's a La Patrie presentation. It's made out of rosewood and cedar. And I love it. I like it down here. She asked me, when's the bad luck stop? When do we rise to the top? It's awful hard work pulling up the rear. She said, now honey, don't you want to be a big success? You can buy me a diamond and a wedding dress. So I leaned in close, I whispered in her ear, said I like it down here with the hobos and the drunks. I like the hard-bitten rabble with the leaving trunks, blood in my mud and sawdust in my beer. I like a wake-up call at 1:30, and if I had a job, I would get it done. I can catch real fine trash fish off the pier. Yes, I like it down here. She rolled her eyes and she bit her lip and she let a skinny backbone slip, lit a Chesterfield, and she church keyed another beer. Well, she smiled and she said, I must admit that I always did like a man with grit. Then she slapped my face and she called out with a sneer, said, I like it down here, boss, just as much as you. I like the bilge water and the bust-up stew. I got a three-legged dog and a one-eyed buccaneer. I like homemade wine from a scuppernong. I like smoking guns and I like drinking songs. I got a big steam train with a drunken engineer. I like it down here. Yeah. Yes, I like it down here with the hookers and the whiskey priest. I like the bat chain pullers and the shiny beast. Street life lovers with a tattoo of a tear. I want a woman with a face like a question mark. You know she cleans up a good when it's nice and dark. And a railroad flat with a monkey called Belvedere. Come over here, Belvedere, dear, please. I like it down here. 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 Yeah, I like it down here. Man, I'm on all kinds of social media platforms. I hope I'm not cutting my head off with Facebook. There we go. Make it look a little bit better. Anyway, glad to see y'all. It is Valentine's. It is Mardi Gras. So lots of things going on that people are not getting to do unless they're being idiots. So we're at home. I've got my Mardi Gras beads on. I've got a festive Western shirt. You can see my trousers. They are red. So we're partying in Nashville upstairs in the house with the dog. Miss Jessica's here. I'm on a creaky chair. Can you hear it? It's like psycho. I'm the mom in what?
Is it a funeral home chair?
Yeah, I'm the mom in Psycho. This is a J.W. Kimbrough funeral home chair. My father grew up in Thomasville, Alabama. That's over in Clark County, for those of you who are keeping up with counties of Alabama. And they had one of the general stores there. There was the Bedsole store, of course, and there was the Kimbrough store. But Kimbrough store was J.W. Kimbrough, the great general store, everything from the cradle to the grave, because they had baby shoes, cradles, and they had a funeral parlor. That's the kind of people I come from, covering all the angles of birth and death. And that's what my music is about. That song was about birth. This song is about, well, anyway, what I decided I would do is, in show business, you're not supposed to admit you're supposed to, stop aging at 27. And then if you're in rock and roll, you're supposed to die, right? Like Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. Well, I didn't do that. I was in rock and roll. And then when I turned 27, I kind of started to learn how to play the acoustic guitar. Thinking ahead, similar to my great-grandfather, J.W. Kimbrough, Julius Wood Kimbrough, I was thinking about, how am I going to deal with my dog? See, here's one of the things we do is we have a good dog. LB, Larry, Billy, Bob, Alabama Kimbrough, is here to, he lets us know what's what. No BS. It's LB. So I'm going to go back to here's what I was going to say. In showbiz, you're not supposed to talk about your age if you're over like 25, right? You're over the hill, closer you get to 30. Now, I'm so far past that one of the things I thought is wonderful is that when we hit 2020, I started my 5th decade in rock and roll. So I decided tonight, since we can't have a real Valentine's Day, although I do have a fabulous Valentine's gift for my wife, and she for me. Pretty much know that she's getting me a Tesla and a 1959 Stratocaster with one of Jimi Hendrix's full 100-watt Marshall stacks from Woodstock, fully reconditioned. And I'm getting her, well, I'm not telling because she's sitting here. I don't want to be, these beads are going to be too loud. I might have to take them off. But they are festive. They are from Mobile, Mardi Gras. Mobile, Alabama, Mardi Gras. The OG Mardi Gras. So I'm going to go back to the 80s. The 80s. Here's the deal. I'm in my 5th decade of rock and roll. Okay? So go easy on me. Send a lot of tips because I need to retire. And there's tip links. There are tip links. I think I'm from Alabama. There is tip links. I'm putting them up there and you can use them. You can send me you can send me $5 if you want to, man. It's fine. It's all right. Appreciate you. But anyway, so I'm going to send this out. This is a real good Valentine's song. This is a song of yearning to be with someone that you love and to be somewhere that you love. This is called Typical World. I wrote this with the late, great Sam Baylor, and I played it with Rat Connell, and I played it with John Etheridge and Brian Owings and Woody Pollard and Jimmy Roebuck and whoever among the many Will and the Bushman drummers we had. Mark Pfaff played the bass on this. This is called Typical World. It's a jangle pop song, and it's from the 1980s. I miss her and I need her. I spend my whole life trying to get near her. It's a hard thing to bear. My mind is empty and aching. It's frustrating to be waiting at a stop sign, stopping your world. It took a long time, now I'm home. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 I wanna live in a typical world. I wanna live in a typical world. And I walk the line. There's good days and there's bad days. There's wind and rain on rotating Mondays. And it's easy to smile, but it's hard to swallow your pride. 'Cause I tried and I died. That's when I came back with God on my side. It took a long time, now I'm there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, I wanna live in a typical world. I wanna live in a typical world. And I'll walk the line. She's typically undone, and she's constantly unwound. Ain't it strange when you're undone? Ain't it strange when you're unwanted? I wander through relations, just like a train track wanders through Grand Central Station. And I'm a long way from home. Yeah, my mind is empty and aching. It's frustrating to be waiting at a stop sign, stopping your world. It took a long time, now I'm home. Yeah. Oh, 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 I wanna live in a typical world. 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 And I'll walk the line. I'll walk the line. I'll walk the line. Yeah, typical world. Okay, so I'm going to skip back and forth between all these 5 decades. Next, I'm going to go to the 90s. All right, I'm going to go to the 90s, and I'm going to play a song I wrote for the Biscuits. Okay, so make sure you watch Oh Boy Records website and Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page, because around February 17th, they're going to announce a big announcement, and I'll go ahead and announce it too for you now, that the Biscuits self-titled and only record is coming out on vinyl, and I believe it's coming out for Record Store Day. So that's very exciting. It's a wonderful record. I'm really super happy and proud with it, and we put it out in 1993. This is a band I had with Michael Grimes, who started Grimey's Records in Nashville, The Basement in Nashville, the Basement East, and he was in the band Bear Jr., and he's in Guilty Pleasures. and he's a dear friend. And so that was one member of the band. Tommy Womack, who was in Government Cheese and who's played with Todd Snyder and written for Jimmy Buffett, and also is a member of Daddy with me. He was in the Biscuits. And Tommy Meyer was the drummer, and he's from Iowa, USA. And he was in Boys with Toys and the Dig Mandrakes, two of the best Midwestern bands, in fact, bands at all that I ever heard. And we formed the Biscuits together, and we were only together for 2 years. Tommy Womack says it's 2 of the best years of his life, and I can agree with that it was 2 of the best years of his life and my life and all of our lives. And I courted my beautiful wife at that time. So, and the record is cool. It's got Yo-Yo Ma on it. And I'm going to play Yo-Yo Ma. I'm going to attempt to play Yo-Yo Ma on a classical guitar, okay? I get it that I'm, going to struggle with my fingers and maybe a thumb pick tonight. So let's see. Here we go. Let's see what happens. I already messed it up. Okay, I got to tell you the story. So the Biscuits were a band of friends, and we rehearsed a lot because it was just so much fun. So we used to rehearse in the basement at 310 Chapel Avenue in East Nashville. That was the house I moved to Nashville and lived in. My name was on the lease for at least 10 years, even though I only lived there for about a year. Tommy Meyer still lived there when the Biscuits formed. And so we rehearsed there all the time. And here's how we worked it out. One of us would show up with a 12-pack of Natural Light. And then we would jam and make songs up. And out of that, we made a record for John Prine's record label. I mean, that really is like the rock and roll dream, that you get together with your friends, get a 3-beer buzz, make stuff up, make yourselves laugh, have a blast. And John Prine's record label wants to put your record out. It's amazing. It still makes me smile to this day. It makes me smile to this day. I got to shorten my headphones. Really need to take them off, but I like hearing it sound decent. This is a song we wrote in that very basement in East Nashville, probably in 92. This is called Yo-Yo Ma. And of course, yes, it's about the great cellist, Yo-Yo Ma, the great musician and great just world celebrity. Like, if you think about celebrity, think about Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma never embarrasses himself. He doesn't go out without any underwear on and get photographed getting in and out of a limousine. I'm not picking on Britney. I know she's having trouble and she's been exploited, and I'm pro Britney Spears. Free Britney. Okay, anyway. But Yo-Yo Ma. I mean, so I was listening to the radio on the way to practice back in 1992. And yes, I am a super nerd. I was listening to NPR. And still in my 20s, listening to NPR. And they were playing a concert of Yo-Yo Ma playing, probably Bach, cello, concerto, or some famous thing, and he's the star, and the crowd goes nuts, and they won't let him stop taking bows and encores. And the classical DJ got so excited that, I don't know if you ever listen to classical radio or music, but the DJs they're kind of like the ultimate FM radio DJ. If you're as old as me, you remember that there were like FM stations that would have a DJ that would, going out for a smoke break, we're going to play side 3 of the Allman Brothers at Fillmore East. And they were going to go out and get high. And that was cool, So we wrote this in that basement because I had heard Yo-Yo Ma basically rock the house on cello. Of course he does, and he did. So and of a mousy tongue. A peasant couple had a little musical son. You know, was born, you know, they named him Yo-Yo Ma. They didn't know he'd be the leader of the orchestra. Yo-Yo Ma, little cello playing son of a gun. Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all right. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all right. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo. I say Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello till the break of dawn. Now Yo-Yo, he became a very famous man. One night in Australia and the next in Japan. He got the long-legged groupies of the classical kind. They got the soul and tension blowing Yo-Yo's mind. They said, rising up that bow, Yo-Yo, play it all night long. Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all night. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all right. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo Ma. I say Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello till the break of dawn. All right. I say Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all night. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo Ma. I say Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello all right. Yo-Yo Ma, Yo-Yo. I say Yo-Yo Ma, playing cello till the break of dawn. Woo! Yo-Yo Ma, the great Yo-Yo Ma. So there's one from the 90s. All right. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of this, but we'll see. I'm going to do one from the 2000s now. All right. And this is going to be a request. A request for Vicky. Vicky Huffman. This is called A Couple Hundred Miracles. Now, I wrote this with Irene Kelly. And Irene Kelly is one of the great songwriters in Nashville. And she's known mostly for bluegrass stuff. She's a bluegrass girl from Pennsylvania. But she's just a great songwriter in general. I brought her this idea. I was reading Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, and I was reading The Miracle of Mindfulness, and I was thinking about the idea of a song that would say that every step you take is a miracle, and every breath you breathe is a gift, and and to go about with a smile and a prayer on your lips. So gratitude, I know I'm full of it, and I presented her the idea that if every step we take is a miracle and every breath is a gift, and we accept it as such, then every day we have thousands of miracles and gifts. And that's one way to develop the ability to have gratitude. Now, Irene is a good songwriter and not just a maniac like me. So she said, well, that's beautiful, Will, but a couple thousand miracles just sounds crazy in a song. Let's write a couple hundred miracles. So we did. Vicky, this is for you. Rise and shine from the bed. Let the coffee clear the cobwebs from my head. I kiss my wife, I wake the children down the hall. I can't help thinking it's amazing that I'm even here at all. Every step's a miracle, every breath's a gift. I wear a smile and a grateful prayer upon my lips. Tomorrow's just a mystery, so I believe I'll take a couple hundred miracles today. And if I wait for a sign, hey, there's a risk of a missing out on what is mine. So my feet keep a steady rhythm on the ground. There's no wrong way, there's no right way, there's just one more time around. Every step's a miracle, every breath's a gift. I wear a smile and a grateful prayer upon my lips. Tomorrow's just a mystery, so I believe I'm gonna take a couple hundred miracles today. Every step's a miracle, every breath's a gift. I wear a smile and a grateful prayer upon my lips. Tomorrow's just a mystery, so I believe I'm gonna take a couple hundred miracles, a couple hundred miracles, a couple hundred miracles today. Couple hundred miracles. Yeah, that's a beautiful song. I wrote that with Irene Kelly back in the 2000s. All right, so we'll skip over to the 2010s now. All right, I got one for you from the 2010s. So this is LB's request. As you see, this concert is for the Lonely Heart Valentine, Mardi Gras Mourners, but also LB's all request concert. LB is my dog, Larry, Billy, Bob, Alabama, Kimbrough. He's coming. He was just kissing my hand so much before I could barely play. I was so filled with joy. Now he wants to eat my thumb pick in the jubilant way that dogs will do things like that. So I'm going to put my thumb pick over here. And this, isn't he a beautiful dog? He's just a beautiful guy. Hey. So I'd send this song out to my beautiful wife, Jessica, and my friend Spooner Oldham, the legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Fame songwriter and session player. And also send this out to everybody from North Alabama and the Muscle Shoals area and all that beautiful music from Muscle Shoals. And I'll also send this out to our late, great dog, Foley, Alabama, Kimbrough, whose favorite song was Easy Like Sunday Morning by the Commodores. He also loved cool jazz trumpet players such as Chet Baker, Miles Davis, Art Farmer, Kenny Dorham, etc. You get the drift. He was a mellow dude who loved music. I know I'm cutting my head off with this thing, so I'm going to make it look better here. I'm doing my best. So this is called Soulfully, and actually Jimmy Buffett recorded this song. And so...
He's trying to eat your vinyl.
Oh, okay. I can't do much about anything right now. me all you got, and that's a lot. I understand that I'm a lucky man to have you in my life. You make me feel so free, so free. I know you can be tough, but just enough. Oh, you're tender too, and you know just what to do to give me what I need. Soulfully, soulfully, smiles and laughter, words so kind, soulfully, here ever after, say that you'll be mine. I send up a prayer, send it way up there. It's just a prayer of gratitude. I got to give my thanks for you and all the love you bring. Soulfully, soulfully, smiles and laughter, words so kind, soulfully, here ever after, say that you'll be mine, yeah. Be alone, 'cause I'm at home when I'm wrapped up in your arms and all your loving charms. Your kisses, oh so sweet, you give to me soulfully, soulfully, smiles and laughter, words so kind, soulfully, here ever after, say that you'll be mine. Well, soulfully, smiles and laughter, words so kind, yeah. And here ever after, say that you'll be mine. Soulfully, well, soulfully. Soulfully. Yeah, so I'm putting my new guitar through its paces and getting a little out of tune, but you know what? I love it. So life is good. Okay, I'm trying not to get the microphones in the view here. All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We are. And my work this weekend with Songwriting with Soldiers was canceled because of the weather. And that's the way it goes. So I am here to tell you I'm here instead of in DC. So I like it down here on vinyl in 2019. It's on CD and everything as well. I'm really happy about this record. And then in 2020, we were able to put out Spring Break. And you can see it back here on my wall, that except for the ring light, but it's on green vinyl. And it's a really nice record. It's a if you like what I do solo and you'd like to hear it without all the mistakes and weird talking, you can get that record, and it's just me playing the guitar and singing and maybe playing a harmonica. And so Spring Break is really cool, and I'm really happy with it. So I hope you... I'm going to get in tune with my little guitar here, and then I'm going to move on to the 2020s, because tonight is all about 5 decades doing what I do. Into my 5th decade. Isn't that amazing? And I'm only 79 years old. They say I don't look a day over 78. What about What about this world we're living in, folks? Is it crazy enough for you? I mean, really. We got beautiful classical guitars with built-in tuners and pickups, and they almost get in tune. All right, I'm going to the 2020s now. And so I'm going to do, man, I don't have any capos. Okay, here, I got it. I'm going to do one for this entire time that we're in right now. And see, is my, okay. Seem to be okay. You know, keeping up all of the streaming it's amazing. We can even play music. I wrote this with Rich McCulley of Los Angeles, California, formerly of San Francisco, California. Rich moved to El Paso in 2020 to be with his son. So he's had a big change in his life. Moved to West Texas from urban California. But he likes it. Because you know what? Rich is a resilient, creative human being. I love writing songs with Rich McCulley. When this is all over, I'm gonna hug your neck so hard, I just might not ever let you go. I'm gonna have a celebration in my own backyard. I'm inviting everyone I know. When this is all over, I will be a different man, and I'll never see the world the same again. I'm gonna keep my eyes wide open, and I'll try to understand, and I'll show a lot more love to all my friends. Yeah, we're learning how to live, and we're feeling some regret. Ain't it high time to forgive, but never to forget? No, no. When this is all over, I'll take a big long drive. I'm gonna get behind the wheel away I go. With the windows down and the music loud, it's good to be alive. So I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. Well, when this is all over, I'm gonna hug your neck so hard, I just might not ever let you go. I'm gonna have a celebration in my own backyard, and I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. Yeah, when this is all over. Oh, that's a good one. I love that one. All right, I'm going to do a song from the 80s. All right, back to the 80s. And this is one by Will and the Bushmen back in the day. back from our young and innocent days. In the 80s, I was in a band called Ground Zero, and that was right out of high school. I formed a band with Woody Pollard from Mobile, great drummer, rock and roller, great singer, and Richard Gallo, great bass player, and just a good guy with good taste. I met him when I was about 16, maybe, and I put up a little one ad at the music store, or maybe he did. I can't remember. I'm in this for 5 decades, okay? So, oh man, thank you about that When This Is All Over tune. I like it too. I like it a lot, and I sing it every time I can. I'm gonna put it out there as soon as I can. Richard Gallo and I got together, and I was a high school kid, and he was in his early 20s working for NCR, National Cash Register, and he had moved from Atlanta to Mobile. And he told me that in Atlanta, bands play their own songs. And he said, I'm looking to form a band that plays its own songs, original songs. I said, well, I write songs. He said, well, yeah, well, play me some songs. So I played him some songs. And Richard said, well, your songs are okay. They're pretty good. So we started writing songs and recording them on his 4-track TAC reel-to-reel recorder. And but then we started working as a band. And in the early 80s, most places, particularly the Deep South, you had to play cover songs. So we worked up all our worked up songs by The Clash, The Kinks, The Beatles, Elvis Costello, The Jam, The Who, David Bowie, Mott the Hoople, Rolling Stones, kind of mod, new wave covers. And then we did our originals interspersed in them. We also covered a band called 2020 from LA that had a great song called Nuclear Boy. And now I'm friends with Steve Allen of 2020. And you know what? They were going to get back together and tour in 2020. But guess what? They didn't get to because it was 2020. But anyway, we played Nuclear Boy by 2020. And anyway, but what happened with me was we became a working band. I became a professional musician, and I learned how to play gigs and sort of take care of myself and play a show and play my instrument and sing well enough to keep a crowd going. And I learned to write songs. But we never put out any music out, so I was frustrated. So I quit Ground Zero and formed Will and the Bushmen. And we had already been writing some of these songs. By that time, Sam Baylor was in the band, and we formed Will and the Bushmen. And so this is one that is on our major label record. And we were playing some rock and roll, and we were listening to the Stooges and the MC5 and Iggy Pop and David Bowie. And we decided to do one of those kind of songs. So it's kind of like a shuffling blues song, but it's kind of glam too. And we wrote this because we did a show one night in Tuscaloosa. My friend Rob Trucks booked us in Tuscaloosa, probably at the Ivory Tusk or one of those big bars, where you play for 600 people that paid $3 to get in. And it had a blast. But this band opened for us. They were called the Vertical Pillows, and they were from Detroit, Michigan, and they were real like Detroit rock and rollers. And so they showed us Detroit rock and roll lifestyle, even though I don't think they rocked as hard as we did as far as music goes, but we had a good time. And so we thought it was so novel that it was an all-girl trio garage band, the Vertical Pillows. So we wrote a tribute song to them, and their tour manager was this guy who was a Johnny Thunders fanatic. Johnny Thunders from New York Dolls. Recently lost Sylvain, rest in peace, great rock and roller Sylvain. So we wrote a song about 3 girls from Detroit, the Vertical Pillows. So this wound up on our record, and it's like it's got a riff. It's really intended to be loud, not played on a classical guitar, but here we go. 3 girls from Detroit, they're rocking tonight. 3 girls from Detroit, and everything feels all right. I could fall into love in about a minute or two with some Midwest industrial girl like you. You came down south, guitar in your hand, and you showed me the meaning of a rock and roll band. That's right. Yeah. Well, 3 girls from Detroit, they're rocking tonight. Three girls from Detroit. Everything feels alright. Here comes Mary, Mona, and Monique, and some alcoholic Thunder's freak. You came down south in a rock and roll band. You showed me the meaning of it. Yeah, alright. Three girls from Detroit. It's more like a John Lee Hooker song. Three girls from Detroit. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, boogie true. Woo! All right. All right. Woo! Three girls from Detroit. You know they're rocking and rolling tonight. Three girls from Detroit. Oh, everything feels alright. I could fall in love in about a minute or two with some Midwest industrial girl like you. You came down south, you had your guitar in your hand, and you showed me the meaning of a rock and roll band. Alright. Three girls from Detroit. Three girls from Detroit. Oh, three girls from Detroit. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ooh. All right, now, so we're going round robin. Now back to the 90s. All right. I believe the last song that I played from the 90s. Did I even play one? I think I talked about I played Yo Yo Ma. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to play one that Will and the Bushmen did in the 90s. This was on our last album. We made 3 albums. Will and the Bushmen made 3 albums. One was called Gawk, originally released as a 7-song cassette, and then later expanded to a 10-song LP on Mustang Records. We released a 45 on our own Dirt Road Records, and that was 500 Miles and Dear Alex, a tribute to Alex Chilton. So this song is on our 3rd album, The Blunderbuss, which is named after the title track song, which was written by Sam Baylor and the great Brad Jones, producer who I admire and love and work with to this day.
And he introduced you to your wife.
Brad Jones introduced me to my wife, as a matter of fact. Now that is about as important a thing as a person can do for you. So, for better or worse. In this case, for better, of course. Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Hey, baby.
All right, so she's in there folding laundry while I do this. This is real rock and roll. Laugh about it later. See if I can do it right. This was written by Sam Baylor. I may have co-written it in some way. I can't really remember. Good Valentine's Day song. I cowered in the doorway when you found what I'd almost done. I stumbled down the staircase when you swung and hit me in the jaw. It was a right cross from a featherweight. It was a good punch meant to demonstrate. Stay one at a time, even when you're out of your mind. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later. And laugh about it later on. Yeah, you've broken everything I own, and half of it was over my head. You kiss me where you kick me, and you clobber me when we're in bed. It was a left jab from a featherweight, a good stab meant to demonstrate. Stay one at a time, even when you're out of your mind. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later on. Stay one at a time, even when you're out of your mind. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later. Yeah, we'll laugh about it later on. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later. We'll laugh about it later on. We'll laugh about it later on. Laugh about it later on. Laugh about it later. Sam Baylor, a dear friend. All right. That's from the 90s. All right. And maybe you're saying, yeah, we can tell it's from the 90s. It sounds like it, but maybe not. Probably didn't hear it strummed on a classical guitar back in the 90s, did you? Nah, you probably didn't. But just want to tell you, thank you for watching. And also on Instagram, they're going to cut me off here in a few minutes. So I'm also over on YouTube and I'm on Facebook. So I'll try to get back on Instagram after they shut me down. And which it's okay if they shut me down. It's okay, Instagram. It's okay. Anyway, I'm glad to be with y'all. And I'm going to go to the 2000s now. And so I'm going to do one that was a request from my friend Viola up in Pennsylvania. And I actually, at my sound check today, I played a song that I wrote with her. And I may play some of those songs again next week. I may play some brand new songs next week. I got quite a pile of them that I haven't played that much. So I tune because I care. It's a nice sounding classical guitar, I do believe. I like it a lot. And want to thank y'all for tuning in on all these branches of social media. It's really it's not all we have right now, but it's most of what we have for performance right now. So that's why I send tip links. Put up the tip links. I hope you use them. They're like cuff links for pandemic. You know, when it's not pandemic and it's Valentine's Day, you put on your freaking cuff links. You take your lady out to dinner. When it's pandemic time, you play a live stream and you put up tip links. Now that is the difference, my friends, between cuff links and tip links. And that's reason enough for you to send us a generous tip. I believe it is. So now I'm going to do this song called Diamond in a Garbage Can, which came out in the year 2000. And it's on my first solo record, which is called This. And this song actually comes from an experience I had in the early 80s when I was 18 years old, 1982, graduated from high school. And then a few days later, I went to see The Clash in New Orleans at the Warehouse. The Warehouse is a famous venue in New Orleans where The Allman Brothers played. Allman Brothers played there more than any other place that they ever played with the original band, with Barry Oakley and Dwayne Allman. Okay? The Warehouse. The Doors played their last show, not just U.S. show. The Doors played their last concert there. They didn't play after that. Jim Morrison went to Paris and died. Everybody played there. Okay? It was a fantastic venue. By the time I came along, the 60s were over, the 70s were over. Little Feat wasn't playing there anymore. The Meters were playing the clubs. But the Clash came to the Warehouse, June 1982, and I had a ticket. And I didn't even know who the opener was. I just was going to go see the By God Clash play because they were my rock and roll heroes. They were the only band that mattered. And they had put out their first album, Give 'Em Enough Rope, London Calling, Sandinista, and Combat Rock at that point. 5 of my favorite records of all time, really. I had to go see them. But when I got there, there was an opening band. And I recognized some of the songs. He was like, ride your pony, get on your pony and ride. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Ride your pony. And he was like, well, I've been working in a coal mine, going down, down, going in a coal mine. Whoop, about to slip down. 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm so tired. How long can this go on? It was Lee Dorsey, the legendary soul singer from New Orleans. And his band was the Meters, the Funky Meters. So I got to see the Meters with Lee Dorsey. And guess who wrote almost all Lee Dorsey's songs? Alan Toussaint. So I got one of the most New Orleans experiences for a young music lover right then and there. So later I would write songs like Piece of Work and Wash and Fold and Sideshow Love that are super influenced by New Orleans music. But out of this really came this song from my friend Viola. And this is what happened after the show. I was by myself, so I went to the Quarter and maybe drank a beer because I was 18. They, even though the drinking age was 19, they'd serve you a beer, and then I had a beer. I had to take my dad's car back to Mobile, so it's about 110 miles back to Mobile, 130 miles back to Mobile. So I got in my car and I was driving out of the French Quarter, and I hit Esplanade Avenue, which is on the east end of the French Quarter, and you take a left there. Head up away from the river, go to I-10, take a right, head back to Mobile. And I had this experience. So, diamond in a garbage can. She's too young to be so sad. Thinking about it just makes me mad. 15 and her eyes look 65. She's too sad to be so young. She's a little shy, mister, she ain't dumb. She's a rotten apple of her daddy's eye. She was down on Conti Street. That's where the junkies and the drag queens meet. Just smoking a butt, sitting in a puddle of beer. Leaning up against a pawn shop door, I could see she wasn't just an ordinary whore, with her head back laughing a laugh so remarkably clear. I seen them teenage prostitutes with their all fake fur go-go boots. They got a way of looking all about the same, like a diamond in a garbage can. She was so pretty she could hardly stand. Drove on home, I never got her name. Hey, Instagram. I'll see you later. She's too young to be so sad. Thinking about it just makes me mad. She's 15 and her eyes look 65. She's too sad to be so young. Well, she's a little shy, but she ain't dumb. rotten apple of her daddy's eye. She's a rotten apple of her daddy's eye. Diamond in the Garbage Can from A Night in New Orleans, June 1982. A memory stamped on my old brain there. So now I'm taking you up to the 2010s again. And this comes from Willie Sugarcaps, a band which will probably never play again. And, you know, I'll be honest, the political division of our time broke up a perfectly good band. And that is sad. But you know what? The happy thing is I got to play with Grayson Capps, Corky Hughes, Anthony Crawford, and Savannah Lee Crawford. And we made beautiful music for a while there. And not everybody gets to make beautiful music at all. And we got to do it for quite a while. And I think we moved some people's souls. I hope people remember the positive. I hope people remember the positive. And I hope people remember the negative, because we need to balance them out. We got to learn boundaries. We got to learn how to treat other people. And we got to learn to make our own decisions for ourselves based on facts. Anyway, I wrote this song for Willie Sugarcaps, and I'm glad I did. Well, trouble waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Trouble waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Live for the moment, every minute of the day. Live for the moment, it's the only way. Now trouble waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Yeah. Oh, dying, Lord, I ain't afraid of dying. I ain't afraid of dying. It's a natural thing. Dying, I ain't afraid of dying. Dying, sure, it's autumn, winter, summer, and spring. Live for the moment, every minute of the day. Live for the moment, it's the only way. Now, trouble, waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Talk about misery. Misery's laughing at you, laughing while you're crying. It's a terrible thing. And sickness, oh, it's hiding in your bedclothes. Hiding, he's a coward, but he's on your trail. Live for the moment, every minute of the day. Live for the moment, it's the only way. Now trouble, oh, waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Well, trouble waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Dying, I ain't afraid of dying. I ain't afraid of dying. It's a natural thing. Misery, oh, misery's laughing at you, laughing while you're crying. It's a terrible thing. Trouble, trouble, oh, waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day. Trouble, oh, waiting around the corner, waiting around the corner for you every day, every day. Well, trouble, waiting for you every Hey, hey. All right, 2010s, Willie Sugar Caps. I'm going to move back to the 2020s. And I don't have a harmonica tonight, so I'm sorry. But I'm going to play this song. I'm not sorry. I wrote this with Rich McCulley in the midst of all this craziness that we've been going through in 2020. I put it on my spring break record, which you can see behind me is on green vinyl. It sounds great. It was the vinyl lacquers were cut by Welcome to 1979 in Nashville. It was mastered by Jim DeMaine at Yes Master in Nashville. And then the vinyl was pressed at Hand Drawn Records out in Dallas. It's a great facility, and they do really good work. So the record sounds great. And the same with, I like it down here. So order vinyl, order CDs, order hats and tees from my, you know what? They're not cutting me off on Instagram tonight. I must have updated my app and they let me stay on as long as I want. Who knows? I'm just glad that everybody's here and welcome. And thank you for tuning in because I enjoy it. I enjoy the hell out of it. So I'm going to do this tune here called I'll Fall Down. Something in the air don't feel right. Something don't feel like it should. Maybe listen to wise advice, and maybe it would do some good. Someone in the room don't play fair. Someone can make his own rules. Maybe nobody can see there in the hands of fools, hands of fools. 'Cause we rise and we fall together, we fly like birds of a feather, we shine through good or bad weather, it all comes around, and we will all fall down. Now some of us are feeling misunderstood. Some of us have been left out. If we paid attention, we probably would never have so much doubt. Somewhere there's a peaceful compromise, and somewhere there's a middle ground. Maybe we can make our own paradise and see that love is all around. Love is all around, all around. 'Cause we rise and we fall together, we fly like birds of a feather, we shine through good or bad weather, it all comes around, and we will all fall down. Yeah. Well, we rise and we fall together, we fly like birds of a feather, we shine through good or bad weather, it all comes around, and we will all fall down. You know it all comes around, and we will all fall down. Something in the air don't feel right. Something don't feel like it should. All fall down. It's on my spring break record. And wrote that with Rich McCulley. And so I'm going to skip back. Once again, skipping back and forth. Going back to the 80s. And so I'm going to do a song that probably, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Bus Stop. This is a song I wrote when I was about 18 years old. And so it's fun to have songs you wrote when you're 18 that you still want to play when you're 56. I'm here to tell you, living proof. I'm going to take my Mardi Gras beads off now because they just keep whacking against my guitar. I just want to tell you, happy Mardi Gras. Happy Mardi Gras. Happy Mardi Gras. Woo! Let the laissez le bon temps rouler. Okay, this song is called Bus Stop, and it's another jangly song. I wrote it when I was about 18 years old, and Sam Baylor had joined Will in the Bush. I mean, Sam had joined Ground Zero, and we played this song in early Ground Zero. We even actually made a demo recording of it in Mobile at a studio, Jody Powell's studio in Mobile. But we never put it out, so I formed the Bushmen, and we put this song out on our Gawk EP that later became an LP. And you know, if you write songs, you need to play them, and if you play them, you need to release them so people can hear them, and then maybe you'll end up like me, an old middle-aged guy with lots of songs. I love it. So because I'm celebrating 5 decades doing this. I'm in my 5th decade. This is from my first decade. Actually, I could go back to the 70s, but I don't have any songs I want to play from the 70s that I wrote. I could play like, or something like that. Or, any riffs, I could play those. I know a thing or two about her. Kiss, I could play some Kiss songs. Now you're probably thinking, God, I wish you would.
Yeah, please.
All right, so anyway, instead I'm going to play Bus Stop. So that's Lay Lady Lay. I saw you standing at the bus stop and it was raining. I saw you walking, you were dancing, and I was straining words just to say to you something we can talk about besides ourselves, 'cause you're one thing I can hardly live without now. And now you're winning again. Well, it's just as well, 'cause I'm happier that way. You shoot your words like 100 arrows. I just have to hide away again. You're wearing paisley, I'm thinking social camouflage. Your sleeveless blue jacket, your cigarettes and all that jazz. I know you called me 5 times last week, I never dialed it. I don't cooperate with things like that, you just smile. All right. Well, the smile that makes me want to say I'm sorry all the time. Smile like sirens leave me too near to my red line, much too near to my red line. You said that it's too late, I said sit down over here. You want me to take you away, but our love's in the clear. I saw you standing at the bus stop and it was raining. I saw you walking, you were dancing, and I was straining words just to say to you do something we can talk about besides ourselves. Cause you're one thing that I can hardly live without now. All right. Bus Stop from the 80s. Now I'm moving back into the 90s. This is the song I wrote with Todd Snyder. After the Bushmen broke up, I formed the Biscuits. And like I said earlier, the Biscuits record on Oh Boy Records is getting put out on vinyl for the first time for Record Store Day 2021. Yeah. Super excited about that. So I'll play another Biscuits song before the show is over. But I'd like to say that after the Biscuits broke up, I took some time and wrote some songs and made some demos and tried to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And then I got a call from Todd Snyder. Would you like to go on tour with me for my debut album, Songs for the Daily Planet? I picked up a Maxell 90-minute cassette with Songs for the Daily Planet on side A from Margaritaville Records over on Music Row. And I heard the record. I really liked the guitar playing by Eddie Shaver, the late, great Eddie Shaver, Doug Lancio, and I don't know who else played on it, but I know they played on it. And I thought it was right up my alley, and I needed a job, and I thought the songs were amazing. So I went on the road with Todd Snyder for the next 4 years. And this is one of the songs we wrote together. I'll play two. This is called Horseshoe Lake. And then I'll play another one we wrote around the same time. So here's back in the 90s, on the road with Todd Snyder. Had a day off in Corpus Christi, Texas, on a super humid but super rainy summer day. We wrote a song called Horseshoe Lake. It won't work this morning. I can't punch in. There's too many questions under my skin. My back is aching. I'm so confused. I can't help but feeling just like I've been being used. I did like they told me. I settled down. Now I'm going crazy. I've been working downtown. What do I do here? Why do I stay? Who are all these people I check in with every day? I need room to think this over. I need a ride to Horseshoe Lake. I want to feel like it makes a difference. Oh, what difference one man makes. They say that one man makes some money, one man makes some time. I need some time to think this over. I want to make up my own mind. I don't need a psychic. I don't need a shrink. I need some time away from all this. I need a drink. How did I get here? Where will I go? Why am I so haunted by anything that I don't know? I need room to think this over. I want to ride out to Horseshoe Lake. I want to feel like it makes a difference. Oh, what difference one man makes. They say that one man makes some money. Oh, and one man makes some time. I need some time to think this over. I want to make up my own mind. I need some time to think this over. I want to make up my own mind. I want to make up my own mind. I want to make up my own mind. Horseshoe Lake. Wrote that with Todd Snyder. And, right after that, we were working on a record called Viva Satellite. And Todd asked me to come to his house in Fairview, Tennessee. And he said, man, we need to write a song for this record. And we wrote this song called Rocket Fuel. Well, rocket fuel, buddy, I'm running on rocket fuel. Flying high, feeling cool, buddy, I'm running. Well, my mama works and my dad's gone. I skip school here all day long. Burn my brain out singing this song. Got the doors wide open with the TV on. Rocket fuel, rocket fuel. One more shot of that rocket fuel. Don't need work, I don't need school. Well, I'm running like a rocket. And down the road and away out there, nothing waits because no one cares. Redneck bottom of the corporate stare. I'm gonna get my kicks while I still don't care. Rocket fuel, rocket fuel. One more shot of that rocket fuel. Don't need work and don't need school. When I'm running like a rocket. Rock and roll. You don't care if I sell my soul. You move me just like a holy roller when I'm running on a rocket fuel. Rocket fuel, rocket fuel. One more shot of that rocket fuel. Don't need work, I don't need school when I'm running like a rocket. I said, now look out, mama, cause I'm running like a rocket. I said, now look out, people, cause I'm running like a rocket. Well, I'm running. Well, I'm running. Woo, rocket fuel. 2 in a row from the 90s. That's right. I'm going to move on into the 2000s one more time and play a song that literally changed our lives and our fortunes in this world. And this is a song that I wrote at the neonatal ward, NICU, neonatal intensive care unit at Baptist Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee. And our youngest daughter was a little bit premature, just like our oldest daughter was, and had to stay in the hospital just to get big enough to go home in the state of Tennessee. You have to be 4.5 pounds to go home in the state of Tennessee. So y'all stay home till you're 4.5 pounds, and then you can go out in the world. And but wear your mask, wear a tiny little mask. And so she was a tiny little baby, and the night came when she was just an ounce away from getting big enough to go home. And so we got to spend the night that night in the hospital, and took little Emma with us. She was 5 years old. She was jumping out of her skin, so excited to become a big sister. And they all, Jessica, Emma, and Sadie, all got in that bed together and fell asleep like 3 angels. Should be a song called that. And I was kind of excited myself, but I had to sleep in the window seat, and so I couldn't sleep. I was slipping and sliding on that vinyl cushion, and all those heart monitors and beepers and buzzers were going on, and nurses were popping in the room and checking on things. And so I just went in the bathroom and got some paper towels out of the little dispenser, and I wrote these lyrics down. And then a few years later, I recorded it on an album, and then I got in touch with Jimmy Buffett, or rather, he got in touch with me and asked about what I was up to. So I sent him music. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call from the Jimmy Buffett organization. This is the kid who went to see the Clash and the Meters. Next thing I know, Jimmy Buffett's calling me. It's crazy. Life is crazy. And life can be good. Excuse me. Life can be good crazy too. So this is one of those times where life is good crazy. Like the song, remember Walking in the Sand? He's good bad, but he ain't evil. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Good times, good things, good crazy. So this song went up on a Jimmy Buffett record back when people actually bought physical copies of records, and we made some money, and it helped our family out. It changed our lives. And I've had a good writing relationship with Buffett and Mac McAnally and all those guys ever since. And I played on 5 Jimmy Buffett records, and I've helped produce a couple of other projects for them. So it's been a great thing. What a great team. Tell you this real quick, and I'll play the song. I was down there in Key West working on this record. I was the new guy. They knew I had written a song, and Jimmy Buffett had called me in. They didn't really need a 5th guitar player. But I'm down there working. Every time we take a break, we go stand out on the dock at Key West because the studio is right there down at the docks. And the late, great Ralph McDonald, the legendary percussionist and songwriter. Look him up, Ralph McDonald. He played on everybody's record. Bill Withers, George Benson, Paul Simon, James Taylor. I mean, it just goes on, and all the jazz stuff. And he co-wrote some big songs, too, in his time. He co-wrote some big songs. So he's an amazing person. But since I was a new guy, he hadn't told me all his stories. So every time we take a break, he'd go stand next to me, and he'd have rum and Coke in a little cup between his knees. He'd have a cigarette in one hand and a joint in the other. That was Ralph. He was like full bore. His parents were from Trinidad, and he was raised in Harlem. His first road gig was with Harry Belafonte, opening for Martin Luther King Jr. in the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, how epic is that? You're out playing calypso music with this beautiful celebrity, Harry Belafonte, who's putting his career on the line with the Civil Rights Movement, getting arrested down south, coming down from Harlem, with parents from Trinidad. Epic American story. It's epic. And I got to stand there and hear him tell me. So thank you, Lord, for those experiences. I'm a piece of work, I'm iron and lace, shy right up there in your face. I'm all dumbfounded, stubborn as an ass, and I'm sharp as an arrow in a pile of glass. Sweetheart genius, reckless jerks, and Lord have mercy, what a piece of work. Well, I told you I was going to be influenced by New Orleans. Well, the Lord made me on a long thin limb, made sure I'd remember him. Her in the middle of a long dark night, creation crazy, dead sheet white, made in the image of a lion-shocked lamb. I am who the hell I am, ever better, bad, the worst, down to the letter. I'm a piece of work. Well, I'm a piece of work, I'm an angel's fiend, bathed in lavender and gasoline, scared, brave, shallow in an ink black whale, lightly brown in the fires of hell, and wicked, holy, full-on fake, best known for my big mistake. I'm sin, wise, peaceful, gone berserk. I said, a good God Almighty, what a piece of work. Wow. I'm a dreadful sight, and I just don't care. I spent all morning pulling out my hair. Woke at dawn with a crazy spin. I was half the day trying to glue back in. And Mother, bloody Mary, please wipe that smile off your knees. I'm the CEO of the mailroom clerks, and good God Almighty, what a piece of work. Well, all right. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm a piece of work, lovesick boy, cloth cap, caviar, and corduroy all over the map. I just lost in space with a filthy mind and a quiet boy's face, and heels up, head down, straight on through. Watch out, woman, I'm gonna get to you. I'm a gladiator with the minder. Come on, I'll see you a little later. I'm a piece of work. Well, a piece of work, a piece of work. I'm a piece of work. here we are in the 2000s. Going back up to the 2010s. This is a song I wrote with Bridget DeMeyer, and she just put out a brand new single. I think it's called Salt of the Earth, and it's amazing. She did it with John O'Ricks of the Wood Brothers, and she wrote it with Oliver Wood of the Wood Brothers. So it's very Wood Brothers-ish and very Bridget. So Bridget and I made a wonderful record, I believe in 2017, 2018, called Mockingbird Soul. And it's a beautiful, we call it acoustic soul. I hope we get to make another record someday. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is put it out there. I'd love to make another one. It's beautiful stuff. This song we wrote was not on that album. It ended up on Daddy, Let's Do This. Have you heard that record? Daddy, Let's Do This? It's real good. If you don't know Daddy, it's a band I have with Tommy Womack, Paul Griffith, Dave Jakes, and John Dedrick. Another band of friends. So we recorded this tune. And I tell you, Jimmy Buffett cut it too. Got a great trumpet solo on there and an old Dixieland band. Called Half Drunk. I'm only half drunk. If you was thinking about pouring more wine. It's only midnight, and I've got nothing but time. Is it half empty or half full, this glass of mine? I'm only half wrong if you was thinking about staying this time. It's only midnight, and I've got nothing but time. They could be half baked, but I've got lots of ideas. Hey darling, here's one. Won't you come and bend me your ear? Yeah. Like Mona Lisa gave old Da Vinci that half smile. I'll paint a picture that will half convince you I'm fine. Oh yeah, it's only midnight and I've got nothing but time. I got half a mind to tell you about it, brother. It's always 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other. This and that, tit for tat, my baby's on the line. I'm always only half the way to making her all mine. I'm only half drunk if you'll be buying one more round. I've been half crazy, just trying to simmer on down. You please half the people, but only half of the time. So tell me, how can a nickel stand right up to a dime? It's only midnight, the night is half gone, and I'll be long gone before too long. It's only midnight, and I got nothing but time. Yeah, it's only midnight. I'm only half drunk. If you was thinking of pouring more wine. Half drunk. Yeah, from the 2010s. That's right. My 4th decade doing this, writing songs and playing them. I'm going to go move back into the 2020s here and do a song that I hated to have to write, but I did. The late, great John Prine Blues. Certainly a blues, and certainly late, certainly great. And as I said before, the Biscuits record's being reissued on Oh Boy Records. And John Prine, of course, it's his label. And John Prine passed in April 2020. So, gosh, not far away from a year without John Prine in the world. Amazing and sad. But nevertheless, we carry on, and that's why I wrote this song, because I wanted to put down how I felt at that time. This song is also on Spring Break, along with Rocket Fuel and All Fall Down. Faces lit up by the screens, plague confined unknown. Pollen-covered Chevrolets parked in their driveway homes, waiting for the word to come, just waiting on the news. There weren't no way to know I'd have the late great John Prine blues. Darkness fell on Nashville, everyone awoke. For all my life I told my wife this has to be a joke. 3 women way out on the ledge, one called out, "What's the use?" They screamed and cried a Galway song, the late great John Prine blues. And a 50-year-old man can hardly sleep till 4:30. His daughter's up all night while his wife sweetly, softly snores. While the madmen make the goddamn plans, it's mostly just a bore. I'm not going anywhere for weeks and weeks and probably more. By day we keep apart 6 feet, all night we closely watch. While in the dark little LB barks and he takes it up a notch. Don't bother adding up the debt you owe, son, and don't you light that fuse. Ain't nobody dancing to the late great John Prine blues. Greatness comes but once inside a very long, long while. And in this case, the greatness was the man himself. His smile could light the whole wide world, and his songs would still the room. Handsome Johnny's going home with the late great John Prine blues. Going down to the bottom, better smoke 'em if you got 'em. It's the late great John Prine blues. Hot dog bun, my sister's a nun. Yeah. Late great John Prine blues from the 2020s. This is on my Spring Break record, along with All Fall Down and Rocket Fuel. And let's see what happens if we go back to the 80s for maybe one more song as we start to wrap this show up. I want to thank y'all all for being with me tonight. What? Okay. Jessica's telling me food's in the oven. Very domestic night tonight here on live streaming. You know, spring is around the corner, and as some of you know, I did Pollen Fest last year, and I'm certainly planning to bring that back this year. I'm even thinking about doing a Pollen Fest 2 t-shirt with a whole new design. I think it's a really good idea. And maybe doing a Pollen Fest live album, live from the porch. So I'm going to take you back to the 80s and do another. Here we go. I'll do this one. I did have a request for this, so I'm going to do it. This is called Like Laughing. was written after I got my first copy of Graham Parsons' Grievous Angel, with Miss Emmylou Harris singing on it. If you'd have told me at that time that I was going to end up playing guitar and singing harmonies with Emmylou for, gosh, now almost 10 years, I would have told you you were stone crazy. And I'll tell you this about the Graham Parsons records. If you haven't ever heard them, you need to hear them. Graham Parsons, Grievous Angel and GP. Also the Flying Burrito Brothers. But there's something special about when he got Emmylou Harris to sing. She brings something special. It's the truth. So I'll do this song, Like Laughing, for y'all. My first country song. Seeing things real after all I lied. Ran away from what you think is wrong, what you think you gain. What you expect is always supposed to disappoint. Even a strong will has a point. But hard stairs turn to water. These things I know, they come and go like laughing. These things I know, they come and go. Things you brought to me with things you saw in a magazine, and you can't even think about the things you thought you would. No surprise, it is regret. No regret is nothing. I'm riding right along with you. These things I know, they come and go like laughing. These things I know, they come and go. First time we recorded this song was Jackson, Mississippi, in a studio called Terminal. Our friend Tim Lee was producing a few songs for us to even out our 7-song EP into a full album. The next time we recorded it was at the record plant in New York City, doing demos for a major label. And then we recorded it one more time in Bearsville, New York, up by Woodstock. So writing this song took me places, you know. It was a song we could play at a gig and take the mood down. It's a song we wanted to record on our independent record. And it's a song we pushed to get on our major label record. And it wound up on there. In fact, the other day I was talking to a well-known TV writer, producer, podcaster, whose dad ran our record label. And I was writing him a note on email saying, I like your podcast and I like your shows you made and the movie you made. My band was signed to your dad's label. Do you remember Will and the Bushmen? He said, probably every couple of weeks I grab my guitar and play Like Laughing. So it's funny what songs do, however obscure, tell your story. Someone new discovered you. You think that cash is a golden rule. Gold is a rule for you, yes I know. When you learn 20 years after all your tears that never should have fallen, you should have never gone. These things I know that come and go like laughing. These things I know that come and go. These things I know that come and go like laughing. These things I know that come and go. All right, one from the 80s. See, I'll take it on out with a few more. Play one from the 90s here. See if I can do this. Okay, I'll do one. Second or third country song I ever wrote, and I got to write it with a master country songwriter, Radney Foster. And our paths crossed because he was in a band called Foster and Lloyd with Bill Lloyd. Will and the Bushmen opened for Bill Lloyd on his album release show for his first solo album, Feeling the Elephant, which is a great 80s power pop record, like a smart pop. It's right up there with like Let's Active and the Windbreakers and stuff like that. The interesting thing about this is in the history and the context of my life and my story and Nashville and music in the modern world in the last 5 decades, is that on the very same day that Bill Lloyd released his indie pop album, like an indie rock record, his band, Foster and Lloyd, had a #1 country single. And it was like a rockabilly song that could have been done by the Beatles or the Everly Brothers or Nick Lowe and Rockpile, you know. So that was the Nashville I moved to, where folks like Foster and Lloyd and Steve Earle and Jason and the Scorchers would be at your show at the Exit Inn, and you'd see them out in the audience, kind of standing back in the back, shaking their heads, bobbing their heads to the music. And Nashville's remained that kind of a town. I just want to say that. Shout out to Nashville, Tennessee. It's a great music town. I know a lot of people have moved here and been disappointed. People have had weird stories, butted heads with the music industry. What I've mostly done is hung out with other musicians and writers and producers, and we are friends, and we make music, and that is that. So, have you checked out my Patreon? I do Patreon, patreon.com/Will Kimbrough. My dog likes it. He's my top patron. He gives me every penny he makes every month to Patreon. For $5 a month, there's new music every month for you. For $10 a month, new music every month, plus my podcast, which everybody seems to dig my podcast. I got a lot of subjects and interviews, got interviews starting to come out with other artists and other musicians and people I'm interested in. And also just telling my story on the podcast. And then for $20 a month, you get music, the podcast, and live stream every month. And I'm usually doing like a whole album and telling all the stories. And then at $50, you start getting these instructional videos where I take songs apart that I've written. I'll talk about playing guitar, mandolin, or banjo, or other instruments, production, recording techniques. For $100 a month, there's one-on-one lessons and also all the other stuff. So I've got patrons. I'm always welcoming more. So take a look at my Patreon. And if you don't have Spring Break, it's on vinyl and CD. It's my latest record. My oldest daughter did the album cover illustration. My youngest daughter did the photography. Our neighbor down the street did the design. My friend Jim DeMay mastered. Our friends over at Welcome to 1979 did the vinyl lacquer cutting. And then our friends out in Texas pressed the vinyl. So get a copy of it. And if you already have that and you don't have I Like It down here, you can do the same thing. WillKimbrough.com/store. You can get everything I've ever put out, plus shirts and hats and CDs, vinyl, and you can leave tips at the web store too if you don't do PayPal or Venmo. There's a Venmo tip link, venmo.com/Will Kimbrough with a capital W and a capital K, and paypal.me/Will Kimbrough, all lowercase. I know that's a lot of information. What are you going to do? So, play a couple more songs. And this one is going to be from the 80s, from the 90s. This is The Very Last Time. I wrote this with Radney Foster, as I was saying. Love didn't turn out like you planned. That kind of plan has never worked. You put your head down in the sand, and now you wonder just why it hurts. You're telling me that you're leaving, and that it's for good this time. I hope you don't change your mind, 'cause it's the very last time I'll play that part. The very last time I'll risk my heart. If I bury my pride, will you come back for the very last time? You always want some kind of hero. You always want what's out of reach. You want me perfect like Bob De Niro. Love's never perfect, so forget that speech. You better make this a good one, 'cause it's my last time out. I love you without a doubt, and it's the very last time I'll play that part. The very last time I'll risk my heart. If I bury my pride, will you come back for the very last time? My heart's not just a plaything. It could break any time. 'Cause I'm all yours and you're not quite mine, and it's the very last time. Very last time. If I bury my pride, will you come back for the very last time? And it's the very last time. It's the very last time. If I bury my pride, will you come back for the very last time? It's the very last time. Yeah, wrote that with Radney Foster back in like 1988. It's on the third Will and the Bushman record. All right, so moving on into the 2000s. I'm going to do a song called Wings that I wrote with Jimmy Buffett after I'd sort of played on a record and sent him some song ideas, trying to get more songs on his albums. You know, quite frankly, I was trying to work it. And so he liked this one, Wings. He flies. Owns a couple of planes and flies himself. And I started the song out as a song of encouragement for my children. Just in general, upbeat song about everybody's got a pair of wings that they can't see. So don't worry about what other people think of you. Do what you want to do and learn how to fly. So here we go. Wings. I've been up around the stratosphere, 31,000 feet. I'm gonna fly on out of here on wings that you can't see. If you're ever gonna fly without fear, you're gonna have to learn to love the atmosphere, and you gotta learn to use those wings that you can't see. Ooh, 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 ha. I don't need no plane ride, I don't need no airport line. I can hang around at treetop flyer level all day long. Now I'm looking down on tiny cars, tiny swimmers swimming around pools and yards, all on account of these wings that you can't see. I've got wings that you can't see. I have wheels, I got wheels on my feet. Way up high, I feel free on these wings that you can't see. Ooh, ooh, I don't need no plane ride, I don't need no airport line. I can hang around at treetop flyer level all day long. Now I'm looking down on tiny cars, tiny swimmers swimming around pools and yards, all on account of the wings that you can't see. I've got wings you can't see. I have wheels on my feet. Yeah, way up high, I feel free on these wings that you can't see. Ooh, ooh. Well, maybe if you try to open up your mind, you might learn some things. Well, God only knows what you might find floating on those wings. Or you can try to fly away from all your problems. I'm here to say it ain't the way to solve them. I can only help you with the wings you can't see. I've got wings you can't see. I have wheels on my feet. Yeah, way up high, I feel so free on these wings you can't see. I got wings that you can't see. Silver wings, just like me. Way up high, we'll be free. Well, if you come on, take a little taste of freedom high up in a cloudland kingdom. Take a little trip on the wings. Yeah, take a little trip on the wings. Take a little trip on the wings that you can't see. Ooh, ooh, wings. Yeah, that's one from the 2000s now. As I wrap this up, I'm going to do...
Keith, I caught you and
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. There's a picture of LB giving me a kiss. I'm going to move on to the 2010s, and I'm going to do a song. The Claw. All right, yeah. See. Okay, Grimy. Oh, son! There you go, Grimy. There's some Jerry Reed for you. Okay, I'm moving into the 2010s. We moved into very adult territory where I had a sort of terminally ill parent and incessant work that I needed to support my family, and I enjoyed, but I was away all the time because I was trying to have family in Nashville and take care of aging family in Mobile, try to help at least, and be on the road in the bands I was in and solo, and also play guitar for Emmylou Harris. So I was overdrawn at the work bank, and in the end, it worked out for us. It was troubling at times, but I wrote this song to try to explain some of my motives in life. And I know I've had folks tell me that they relate to. Ooh, I can hear your voice. Okay, well, then I'll do that for you. Lisa, this is from the 2010s. My friend Lisa Osberg. Swedish Lisa, how you doing? Corky. The other Corky.
There's two Corky.
Yeah, Lisa. All right, I can hear your voice. I can hear your voice in everything. Everything. I'd give anything to hold you close right now. Still need you, but you're leaving. You can barely get around yet. So I hear your voice in everything, everything right now. Close to me, you still smell like you did. Oh, when I was a kid. Gin and sweat, tobacco smoking, home, home sweet home. I still need you, but you're leaving. So I'm longing for the sound. And I hear your voice in everything, everything right now. Though you always were a man of few, if any words, I take so much with me from the things, oh, the things you said to me. I try and teach it to my daughters, and they'll maybe pass it to their own. And they'll hear your voice in everything, everything I've known. I can hear your voice in everything, everything right now. All right, suffice to say, been drawing from 5 different decades, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s for all these songs tonight. So I'm going to take you all the way back to the late 90s, early 2000s, and close with a song called Goodnight Moon. Well, good night, moon. Good night, stars. Good night, old broke down cars. Gone away, leaving soon. Good night, darling. Good night, moon. I don't know where I'll be. I don't know if I'll see out the window of my room, shining down. Good night, moon. Thank you, babe, I'm gonna miss you. When the night comes round, that's when I long to kiss you, with the moon shining on the ground. Well, thank you, babe, I'm gonna miss you. When the night comes round, that's when I long to kiss you, with the moon shining on the ground. Oh, good night, moon. Oh, good night, stars. Good night, old broke down cars. Gone away, and I'm leaving soon. Good night, darling. Good night, darling. Oh, good night, darling. Good night, moon. All right, 5 decades. The 80s, Ground Zero, new wave punk band. Will and the Bushmen, Jangle Rock. Playing for the college kids all over the country. The 90s, the Biscuits, playing with Todd Snyder. Putting out my first solo record at the very end of that decade. Met Jimmy Buffett, gonna change our lives. I rang in the 2000s, playing with Rodney Crowell. What a great experience that was. Put out my solo record. Jimmy Buffett recorded Piece of Work. I made solo records, made daddy records. 2010s, Willie Sugar Cap's Daddy. More Jimmy Buffett work. Solo records. Started working with Emmylou Harris. Wow. 2020 rolls around. Everything's crazy, but we made another Shamika Copeland record, Uncivil War. Made another Jimmy Buffett record, Life on the Flip Side. I made Spring Break. Started doing Patreon along the way back in 2017. I started doing songwriting with soldiers. So I'm just here to tell you that it's 5 decades of good stuff. If you can do music, you're lucky. If you love music and you have access to it, you're lucky. So, good night, darling. Good night, moon. Ooh, 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 ooh. Wow. Fun. I can still remember some of those songs. 5 freaking decades. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look at my tip links. I'll write them up there again for you, and appreciate you all. And if you think of it, send us a tip, because it does help us during this time, and it makes up somewhat for lost shows that we aren't able to play. So thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Thank you guys. Seriously, take care. And I'll see you on Saturday. And got lots of good stuff coming up. So get on my website, get all those music. There's stuff on Bandcamp as well. And take care. Have a beautiful Saturday night. May you be blessed with peace. If it will let me end my video. All right. Y'all take care. Thank you.